I'm Mark Sabins, this is Dan Lowenberg, and we came up with the idea of security without a lock, which is for commercial kitchens. And the problem with commercial kitchens is you have pots like these where you'll put it in a steam pot. There's two different sizes. A steam table, kind of as you say, up at the top. Those sink down. There's no easy way to pick them up without burning yourself. So our solution would fix that. But also, we kind of extended that idea into like, how are we going to transport that throughout the kitchen as well? So we came up with the idea of kind of securing it to a cart without a lock or any locking mechanisms, and that would reduce on a number of commercial kitchen injuries. So the industry commercial kitchen, that would be your hospital kitchen, any commercial restaurants, and also hotels that have kitchens. But we wouldn't just look to grab the attention of the employee. We would look to grab the attention of a manager or a higher official that would be able to buy the item rather than, and then also talk about it to their partners in the field. So it wouldn't just go to an employee that has the issue of picking up the thing and would talk to their manager, and maybe their manager wouldn't want to do it. So we're kind of focusing on the manager and the higher official. So our solution will be a kind of a removable handle type thing, and Dan is going to talk about it further, and some way to secure it to the cart where you can stack it as high as you can or want to, and it won't tip over, so it wouldn't cause any spills or anything that would have the manager have to pay like workers' comp or something.
The handles are fairly simple, just a rod and a supporting strut. And they bend back with the hook so that you bring them in at an angle that's too wide to carry normally, initially. But as you bring them into a practical angle, kind of over the top of the pot, it locks in place, so it can't slip around, it can't shake around. It's very stable. But these are removable, and they're separate from each other so that you can just take two out of any bin. You don't have to have a complicated assembly. The pots themselves need to be slightly modified. Over in the corner there would be a small window, as you can see, which would be bent down and into a hook so that the steam plates would actually sit slightly off of the surrounding table, which allows some steam to escape, but that's common anyways in the kitchen, so it shouldn't be an issue. And you can see here the up-close version of the foot of the handles coming in, and as you turn it, it locks here so that neither way it can't slip around or anything.
So right now there is no outright sellers of our concept. The handle thing, there's definitely no solutions right now other than buying a pot or pan with a handle, and even then it's an issue of how hot the handle would get.
I think very hot. We've both worked in kitchens.
The cart, there are kind of types of carts where you can buy, and it has sectioned off areas where it would fit a pan and a pot, but it doesn't deal with the issue of layering and also securing it without it spilling on like a bump or something, or a hill that you would go over. And I guess if there's some kitchens that don't have the limits on, or have limits on cash, so they're not able to buy new stuff, which unfortunately we tried to make it so you wouldn't have to buy new stuff, but that wasn't the case. So we could, for them, recycle old businesses' carts, like how businesses would go out of business, we would buy their parts and refurbish it to the standards we would need.
We only need a little bit of hardware to convert it into something that keeps the dishes in place, so we can use pretty much any base car model. We estimated that there would be around 135,000 kitchens that would be large enough to be interested in a specialized car, and overall we thought about 650,000 for the handles themselves. So we can sell as a package or just handles as a common appliance.
And then, so pretty much this product and both of the products would prevent the slip fall, which is a 20% occurrence in commercial kitchens, and that's the very high rate. It would prevent a burn of touching something hot or slipping and then putting your hand somewhere. And then engineering controls was a way to prevent, OSHA actually tells you that's one way to prevent workers' injuries, and so they've kind of, I read what it said, and they kind of were going towards an idea that we had, so be a way to prevent injuries, and that's all we had.
Have you come up with any financial projections at all at this point, or?
I'm not sure how much each unit would cost at this point.
We would have to kind of work on that, try and figure out what the manufacturer could do for us.
It would depend somewhat on materials,
Yeah.
Manufacturing methods. Sure.
So one other question, you may want to, I mean, as you're developing this, have you thought about, like presenting, this might be a good thing to present to a franchise company,
Yeah.
So that they would institute this across the board,
Yeah,
with all of their companies. So.
I never thought about that, but that is a good idea to go for.
Well, it would be, for instance, Sodexo, who does the food services well, for all of VSC and a lot of other places. If that's one place I've actually worked for a semester, they would, if I were working there, I would love it. So definitely.
So you mentioned you had to modify the pans. Is that something that the buyer could modify, or would they have to buy your pans too?
Right now, unfortunately, they would have to buy our pans. We could work with them financially to get it to a point where they could.
It might be possible to make something that would work with a special punch, which would punch and shape the piece out of the existing metal if it would be strong enough and wouldn't require reinforcement. We'd have to make some prototypes and see that.
You both mentioned working in kitchens, having some experience. I don't know if you actually floated the idea by anyone else that you either work with.
I haven't yet. We were trying to finalize our idea before.
We haven't no, but I will guarantee you ask 5 people who pick up those plates, at least 4 of them are going to say anything that helps,
I've burned myself quite a few times.
And it just takes extra time to get a towel and return them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, thank you.